A Mortal's Journey to Immortality Episode 171. Han Li and Wang Chan's group entered the dungeon, planning to explore the secrets of sjourneytoimmortality Kuan. In the previous episode about the Immortal's Cave, it was mentioned that Marquis Nanlong summoned Han Li and others to discuss important matters. Marquis Nanlong looked at everyone and slowly said, "The purpose of gathering everyone here this time is actually to ask all of you to accompany me on a trip to Mulan grassland." Everyone was startled upon hearing this, their expressions changing drastically. The cold-faced cultivator frowned and asked, "Brother Nanlong, you didn't misspeak, did you? We're going to Mulan grassland?" The other cultivators also had grim expressions. Marquis Nanlong calmly explained, "Fellow Daoist, you've misunderstood. I'm not asking to go deep into the grassland, just to the edge, about 100 li away will suffice." The cold-faced cultivator shook his head and said, "That's still a very risky endeavor." It's said that after years of recuperation, the Mulan people are once again stirring. That place is extremely dangerous. I'm afraid many spellcasters of our same cultivation level have also gathered there. Although those spellcasters have simple magic treasures, their cultivation and techniques are no less than ours. The spiritual arts they master are astonishingly powerful, and they are also very skilled at coordinated attacks. If we are discovered, it will be difficult for us to retreat unscathed. Wang Tiangu suddenly smiled faintly and said, "What exactly is so extraordinary there that Brother Nanlong insists on going?" Marquis Nanlong's demeanor changed, and he laughed. "Brother Wang truly understands me best. Fellow Taoists, have any of you heard of sjourneytoimmortality Kuan?" An old woman, hearing this, spoke with some emotion. "Sjourneytoimmortality Kuan? 5,000 years ago, the mad cultivator of Tianan who suppressed both the righteous and demonic paths." Marquis Nanlong, with a hint of an unusual expression, said in a deep voice, "Madame Tai is correct. It is indeed that madman who caused a stir in both the righteous and demonic paths." This audacious mad cultivator was absolutely the foremost rogue cultivator in Tianan back then. With his unfathomable divine abilities, he swept across Tianan, almost unrivaled. The Grand Elder of the Demonic Paths Huan sect and the Alliance leader of the Righteous Path Alliance, these two universally acknowledged foremost figures of the righteous and demonic paths, wouldn't dare claim to surpass this half-mad cultivator by even an inch. The place we are going to this time is a secret immortal's cave that sjourneytoimmortality Kuan meticulously arranged before his passing. The old woman said in disbelief, "Impossible. Didn't that madman commit a public offense and was besieged and killed on the spot by numerous cultivators?" The white-haired elder, a mid-nascent soul cultivator, suddenly said, "Sjourneytoimmortality Kuan was not killed back then. Instead, he was forced to detonate 2 puppet avatars and used a trick to deceive the heavens to escape. However, after that battle, Sjourneytoimmortality Kuan was also severely wounded. It was difficult for him to recover his heaven-reaching divine abilities. So, after several years of recuperation, he disappeared from his original immortal's cave. It wasn't until fellow Taoist Nanlong and I found his final arranged place that we learned from the remaining information that after this person disappeared back then, he actually set his sights on the Demon Fall Valley. He risked his life to enter this valley, becoming the first person to return alive from Demon Fall Valley." The old woman, her face full of excitement, cried out somewhat shrilly, "Returned alive from Demon Fall Valley? How's that possible?" Han Li and the others all gasped. A dark-faced cultivator sneered and asked, "Even if this matter is true, what does it have to do with Mulan grassland? Did this person really take the treasures he obtained from Demon Fall Valley and bury them all inside a secret cave there?" Marquis Nanlong, his expression unchanged, said, "Fellow Taoist, although your words aren't entirely correct, you've guessed about 70 to 80% of it. According to the information left at this person's arranged place, he seems to have stayed in Demon Fall Valley for several years. Not long after he emerged from Demon Fall Valley, he passed away on his own. However, he must have brought out many treasures from Demon Fall Valley. Treasures that even the foremost rogue cultivator of that time valued are certainly extraordinary. Moreover, this person was able to suppress all other cultivators, so his own secret palace and magic treasures are also incredible items. Are you few truly willing to miss this trip to Mulan grassland? The white-haired elder also added calmly, with so many nascent soul cultivators accompanying us, ordinary spellcasters won't be able to stop us. Even if we encounter any unexpected situations, at worst, we can each break through separately. If you're unwilling to take even this small risk, then those who don't wish to go may excuse themselves. The two of us will find others to accompany us. However, there's one thing I need to make clear to you first. Just then, Hanli spoke up and asked, "There's something I don't understand. Since you two know where the treasure is, why did you specifically summon us here? And why did you insist on scrutinizing powerful individuals? Is the location hard to find, or does the opening of the cave dwelling have something to do with this?" Marquis Nanlong said with a hint of helplessness, "Fellow Taoist Han, your words are not unfounded, and I was going to explain it shortly. If the two of us could retrieve the treasure alone, we naturally wouldn't share it with others. However, last time, when we secretly ventured into Mulan grassland and found that cave dwelling, we didn't expect there to be an extremely profound ancient formation outside it. The two of us tried everything but couldn't break through. Because we were in Mulan grassland, we didn't dare to stay long. We had no choice but to note down the characteristics of this formation and return to Tianan. We then specifically consulted various formation texts to study that ancient formation. Finally, we discovered that this formation was actually the Taimao divine restriction, a long-lost ancient restriction." Wang Tiangu's expression changed, and he said with some surprise, "Taimao divine restriction? Isn't that one of the 10 great ancient restrictions? How could it be there?" A hint of surprise flashed in Hanli's eyes, but he quickly returned to normal. Marquis Nanlong praised repeatedly with a smile on his face, "I've long heard that Brother Wang is a renowned master of formations. It seems the rumors are true, as you even know about such little-known ancient restrictions." Wang Tiangu seemed to realize something and immediately humbly demurred, "Brother Nanlong, you flatter me. I've only heard its name. As for how to break the restriction, I'm not clear either." Seeing this, the old man Baishan continued, "The two of us studied it for several years before discovering that to break this restriction, we either have to forcefully break it, wearing it down little by little with brute force, or find 8 cultivators with powerful divine sense who can use their divine sense to manifest abilities and break this restriction. Forcefully breaking it is definitely not an option. This restriction is exceptionally profound. Even if the two of us continuously attacked this formation day and night, it might not necessarily be opened in several months. In Mulan grassland, how could the two of us dare to unleash our divine abilities recklessly? But if we use divine sense manifestation to break the restriction, as long as your divine senses are strong enough, this formation can be broken within a day." Upon hearing this, everyone finally understood why Marquis Nanlong and the other person had sought them out. Perhaps for other reasons, mid-stage cultivators with powerful divine sense could also cooperate to break the restriction. However, the two of them clearly didn't want overly powerful cultivators to participate, fearing that they might be usurped. After all, both of them were nascent soul mid-stage cultivators, and while their combined strength couldn't guarantee a definite victory against Hanli and the others, it could maintain a delicate balance. Facing the treasures brought out from the Demonfall Valley, Hanli and the others were all greatly tempted. Although going to the edge of Mulan grassland carried some risks compared to these treasures, those risks were negligible. Such an opportunity other cultivators would surely not be able to obtain, even if they begged. Marquis Nanlong asked a few times, and seeing that no one withdrew, a smile appeared on his face. He then stated his conditions. "However, there's one thing I need to make clear to you all first. If everything goes smoothly and we truly enter the cave dwelling, the two of us must each pick one item first from the treasures inside. Only then will the remaining items be divided. Do any of you fellow Taoists have any objections?" Hanli and the others agreed to this. After all, regardless of their cultivation levels or their status as initiators, it was normal for them to receive more treasures. Everyone immediately agreed to depart after 2 days of preparation. They then swore a heart demon oath not to leak this matter, and only then did they leave the place one after another. Could Hanli find an opportunity to ask Wang Chan to die? Han Li and Wang Quan, while treasure hunting, unexpectedly encountered the vanguard of the Mulan army. Faced with this situation, how will they choose, to retreat or to advance? In the last episode, Han Li decided to search for the Tsong Kuan legacy treasure. After advancing to the nascent soul stage, his cultivation progress had become very slow due to a lack of suitable elixirs. Without new opportunities and fortunes, advancing to the mid-nascent soul stage would require centuries of arduous cultivation. Now that he had a chance to obtain the legacy treasure of the Heavenly South's foremost mad cultivator, Han Li naturally wouldn't give up. He possessed the Wind Thunder Wings and also knew the Blood Shadow escape, confident that he could easily escape danger as long as it wasn't a late-nascent soul cultivator making a move. Moreover, Wang Quan would also accompany him. If an opportunity arose to eliminate an opponent, he would invite them to die. As long as he wasn't caught by Wang Tiangu on the spot, the other party couldn't do anything to him. Han Li didn't take a mere early nascent soul cultivator seriously. Meanwhile, Wang Tiangu took Wang Quan and Yan Rian back to their residence. He slowly instructed, "After we return, tell me in detail about the grievances between you and this person. Judging by his appearance, it seems his hatred for you hasn't subsided. From now on, you two, as a couple, should not stray too far from me to prevent him from launching a sneak attack." Wang Quan respectfully replied, "Yes, second uncle. I didn't expect that a single lapse in judgment back then would create such a formidable enemy for your nephew. This person, in such a short time, has successively broken through the bottlenecks of core formation and nascent soul, which truly caught your nephew by surprise." The thought of Han Li already being a nascent soul cultivator made him feel a blockage in his heart and quite dejected. Wang Tiangu sneered, "You don't need to be too disheartened. With the supreme power of the Blood Rain Great Art, you two, as a couple working together, might not necessarily be inferior to that person. And once the Blood Rain Great Art breaks through to the 7th layer, both you and Ruyan can form your nascent souls. At that time, it'll be hard to say who will be troubling whom. However, on this trip to the Mulan grasslands, you two must still be extra careful. Even if I truly have something important and have to leave you, don't get separated. Working together, you should be able to protect yourselves." Hearing this, Wang Quan felt much more at ease and hastily thanked him. "Thank you for your guidance, second uncle." Wang Tiangu then muttered to himself, Among your brothers, you are the one I have the highest hopes for. Otherwise, I wouldn't have brought you alone to this trade fair." However, that kid was originally a cultivator from Yellow Maple Valley, and old Ghostling who also seems to have come to the trade fair. Could this person still have some connection with that old ghost? Hearing this, Wang Quan and Yan Rian exchanged surprised glances. After returning to his residence and sleeping for a night, Han Li spent the next day hastily acquiring all the materials he needed. He then gave some instructions to Mu Piling, preparing to ask Lu Luo to take her back with him. When Lu Luo learned that Han Li had to leave early for something and saw that Han Li had no intention of explaining in detail, he didn't press for answers and readily agreed. This significantly increased Han Li's impression of senior brother Lu. For the remaining day, Han Li meditated and cultivated in the pavilion. When the appointed time arrived, he went to the meeting point alone. On a small mountain 1,000 li south of Tian City, Marquis Nanlong and Old Man Baishan were already waiting for everyone. Marquis Nanlong had changed out of his purple robe and jade crown, dressing as a scholar. Within the next 2 or 3 hours, the rest of the people arrived one by one. After everyone had arrived, the group of 9 quietly left Tian City and headed south towards the Mulan grasslands. Between the 9-Nation Alliance and the Mulan grasslands lay a stretch of barren yellow earth spanning nearly 10,000 li. This area, with its sparse vegetation, year-round flying yellow dust, and incessant strong winds, naturally became the 9-Nation Alliance's battleground against the Mulan cultivators. Over so many years, tens of thousands of cultivators had died here. Marquis Nanlong and Old Man Baishan led the way, while Wang Tiangu and his 2 companions brought up the rear. Han Li and the others flew scattered in the middle, unhurriedly proceeding at a normal pace. Half an hour later, old man Baishan, who was leading the way, suddenly stopped. Marquis Nanlong hastily asked, "Brother Yun, what happened?" He and old man Baishan took turns releasing their spiritual senses to monitor their surroundings. Now it was Elder Baishan's turn to investigate, which is why he had this question. Elder Yunxing said with a solemn expression, "It seems like a strong wind has picked up ahead. Something feels off." Hearing this, everyone quickly sent out their divine stones to probe into the distance. In the distance, a massive yellow sandstorm, over 100 zhang tall, swept in, covering the sky. Wherever it passed, sand flew, stones rolled, and yellow dust billowed. A look of uncertainty and apprehension appeared on everyone's faces. Han Li's divine stone, comparable to a late nascent soul cultivator's, condensed as he focused his attention, probing into the sandstorm. The divine stone immediately became hazy, only able to vaguely sense a few dozen zhang away. As Han Li felt greatly surprised, Cultivator Yu said solemnly, "This is the maple forest tree of the Mulan people, called Myriad Red Dust. This tree, can not only block our cultivators' probes, but the yellow sand and fierce winds within it also have the miraculous effect of protecting oneself and trapping enemies. It's very troublesome." However, the astonishing scene before us seems to have expanded the range of the spiritual art 100-fold, or even 1,000-fold. It's a bit strange. Hearing this, the expressions of the other few people subtly changed. Elder Yunxing said cautiously, "Fellow Taoist Yu is right. Only a Dharma-style spiritual art could make the sandstorm so astonishing. And judging by the power of this tree, who knows how many Dharma-style cultivators are hidden within? It's even possible that there are cultivators of the same rank as us. It's not impossible. The Mulan people suddenly deploying so many Dharma-style cultivators, I'm afraid a border war is about to break out again." Currently, Han Li and the others only had two paths. One was to return the way they came, avoiding a direct confrontation with the Mulan Vanguard, and then seek another opportunity later to search for treasures. However, the Mulan people's attack would certainly not stop within a few years, and worldly affairs were unpredictable. Next time, they might not be able to gather so many people again. The second path was to first conceal their presence and see if they could bypass it from the side. As long as they avoided the Mulan Vanguard, they would have enough time to avoid the main force of the Dharma Masters and arrive at the sparsely guarded Mulan grasslands, where they could easily retrieve the treasure and leave. No one wanted to give up the current opportunity to wait for uncertain events several years later, so none of them planned to retreat. They merely sent out a communication talisman to report to the nearest strongholds of the Nine Nations Alliance cultivators, so that the Alliance could prepare in advance and not be caught off guard by a sneak attack from the Mulan people. Then, they concealed their aura, hid their figures, and quietly fled to one side, wanting to avoid the most violent central part of the sandstorm and slip past. Wang Tiangu feared that Wang Chan and his companions' cultivation was insufficient, so he set up a huge light shield, enveloping both of them within it, and gradually moved away. A distance of over 100 li was covered in the blink of an eye. The hazy, yellowish sandstorm faintly pressed in from the distance, and with the smell of yellow sand, towering wind pillars roared in first. Fortunately, they had deviated from the front of the wind formation in advance and had already reached a more distant side. Only a few scattered wind pillars swept past them, posing no threat at all. The larger of these wind pillars had a diameter of over 10 zhang, while the smaller ones were also several zhang in size. Figures faintly flickered within them, revealing concealed Dharma-style cultivators. However, these Dharma-style cultivators did not discover Han Li and the others nearby, and continued to ride the wind forward, minding their own business. Han Li and the others watched with cold eyes, quietly and silently continuing to flee forward. Just as they were about to plunge into the vast yellow sand that followed closely behind, Nanlong Ho, who was walking at the very front, suddenly changed his expression and warned through a transmission, "Not good. Be careful." A massive wind pillar, roughly 100 zhang in diameter, and so tall its top cannot be seen, is actually sweeping horizontally towards them from afar. Such a huge wind pillar meant the Dharma-style cultivator casting the spell within must be extraordinary. Could this person have discovered them? Hanli took a deep breath, the azure bamboo clouds warm within him gradually building up momentum, ready to strike. The others also stared at the wind pillar with wary expressions. Some had even taken out their magic treasures. Hanli and the others were trapped by the Mulan people. Could they escape unscathed?